He gave me a call and I tried to call him back, but,
When?
last week.
Coming to you live on the Government Access Channel from Mario Bagnoni Chambers in beautiful downtown Erie. It's the Taxpayers Hotline Show with your hosts, Kaz Kwiatkowski and John Steiner.
Guess who's back?
Who is it?
Tell a friend. Kaz is back. See, that's a song you never.
I never heard that.
That's a
song.
new school song.
Hey, you know what? I heard DJ's back in town.
DJ rolling in the 814 again.
Yeah, if you're there, DJ, I gave you a call last week. We'll try again.
Yeah, I'd like to have DJ stop by.
Yeah, we need to,
He helped us out with the new promo and everything. Actually, it was his creation. I can't take credit for it. Well, he came through with the music, but
Yeah.
we helped him out with the verbiage.
but he was good at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He last I saw, I thought he was in Ohio last night. That guy gets around, man.
Well, hey, he's moving his way east, I think.
He is. Eventually, he'll end up in the 814.
Maybe he has some gold dust on him.
You know, we need the population, so he can move in and we'll have more.
Can we
people.
count him as two?
We could count him for like 10.
Okay.
We got our caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I have a question. It's about the city. What's the city's end game on the downtown area? With all this new development, that's public-private development. Like, what's the city's end game?
Well, what do you mean, the end game?
The end game, okay, is this to revitalize the city, to make people come down, like move back into the city? Or is this to make it look like people can just come and shop and have jobs in the city, but they live out in the county?
No.
Well, I don't know what anybody else's end game is.
Their end game is to provide market rate housing for people and update the area so that people purchase apartments downtown to bring people back downtown, which makes us more attractive.
And understanding that they have a vested interest because
Yeah.
they have a business there.
I mean, actually, there is really no public-private partnership in that area.
That's all private.
That's private.
Yeah, the only public that they even approached, they asked for a $2.5 million, what they call RCAP loan, RCAP grant rather, which outside of that though, if you look at the project concerning McDonald's and everything, that's all their own money.
Yes, so they didn't even really, I think, didn't they turn it down? The RCAP money I saw?
Be
Well,
safe.
they turned it, well, there's a plan now that the city
They'll
will,
give it to you guys. They're like,
well, the
"Oh."
city's got incorporated within their territory too, that they
They're
got
like,
it.
oh, we don't want it. Too
But-
much headache.
Design that can make the city a safe city.
Well, here's the end game for the city. The city's end game is that we have to get more population, more per capita income, more assessed value into the city, and that will only come when it's not going to be just downtown. It has to be all the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That's the end game for the city. If you read the report, and at least my end game is,
Yeah.
this town had 38 to 139,000 people at one time. And most of them, our per capita income was a lot higher. Our ownership of homes was a lot higher. Even though we had some rentals, we had more,
Let's say if the city can't bring this populace downtown or even to the city limits. Let's say if this is all for nothing and it can't be done. The goal cannot be achieved physically or legally.
well, here's the thing. If we try nothing, we know what that's got us.
Well, then here's
That's where we are now.
Yeah,
We've done nothing. We've allowed it to deteriorate.
Yeah.
So either here's what we do. We can throw our hands up and say it's all done, it's over, and guess what? The townships and everybody will have to assume our debt, including the state, the water department, the sewer department, everything, and all the tax exempt properties. Somebody's going to have to absorb them.
So all this is like is all this like a shell game?
No, it's not a shell game. It's the last chance. I think it's one of the last chances we have to make a difference. And if we don't, then the city will end up like other cities that have rose and fallen and gone away. And
the city of Erie is already nationally the third lowest growing city in the country.
Okay, so what's the time frame?
Well, my time frame is this city went downhill and it took 20 years.
Yeah, our time.
And my
yeah,
timetable is, it's gonna take
2040.
just as long to go up.
Our timetable's 2040.
And if you can make some, right, John, if you can make some improvements,
Yeah.
and if you keep making some improvements every year, you'll find that the momentum will carry on, but
But we gotta do it right and responsibly. I'm not sure.
This is gonna make the city safe then, right?
No, that won't alone make it safe. There's so many different areas that need addressed. I mean, you gotta have jobs. I mean, this stuff down here is cool and all, but if you don't have jobs where
well, look what happened today.
people make.
Hear the news today?
What?
Well, on one hand, they announced that 2 weeks ago they're bringing in jobs from Boise, Idaho, right?
Who announced this? Who?
It was on the news just before I came in.
Okay, which organizations have these big jobs? Who announced this?
All right,
Well, hang on a
let him
minute.
finish.
Yeah, what happened was, 2 weeks ago, Wabtec announced
Yeah, I remember that.
they're
yeah.
bringing in Boise, right?
Yes.
And then, we had Lisa Adams down there and they were patting her on the back and what they brought in for Pittsburgh, the headquarters, right?
Right.
Things were looking up.
Yeah.
And today we got a little step backwards.
Oh.
They're gonna lay off about 100 people.
What?
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I mean, there you go, right? So I mean, for every little sunshine, you get a little ray of,
Reality.
yeah.
But no, like we were saying, that's all great and all. That's just the downtown area. But until you bring back other jobs, I know they're the other areas in town, the innovation district.
Well, you have to go out in the neighborhoods too.
Yeah, it spreads out. And that's where the land bank and all that stuff comes into.
Let me tell you, this downtown, that'll start and end real quick. I mean, the things that are being put in effect, that'll be fast and rapid, but the real work,
Have a safe city.
this is why I say 20 years from now.
Yeah.
The real work is gonna be when we go out with the sisters into, like they did in the west side, and they go into the east side, we start carving out the neighborhoods. That's gonna take the hard work, and it's not glamorous. You're not gonna see 5-story buildings, and you're not gonna see.
I tell you, he doesn't.
you know.
I don't know if you've traveled through, but the Lower West Side area with the West Bayfront group out there, they've done a really nice job.
The only nice neighborhood on the west side is the Frontier. That's a beautiful neighborhood. That's the safest neighborhood the city has, with all the safest people. The city keeps that neighborhood safe because that's where all the money's at.
Well, people own their houses out there, and the houses are a lot newer.
Protected class.
There's
Everyone that lives there is a protected class. That's just the facts.
That is true, but there's reasons why people invest in those homes, and they keep that neighborhood in good shape.
Protected class in that neighborhood? Everyone in that neighborhood is deemed a protected class? Is that what you just said?
Deemed, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said. Deemed a what class?
A protected class. That's a protected neighborhood because it's the high-end neighborhood.
A protected? No, I never said that. All I'm saying is why that area is very well maintained, because the houses are newer, people have paid into it. Now, just because there's no newer houses on the Lower West Side, it doesn't mean that they're not as important as the Frontier area. These areas that are
That area is deemed a protected class because the police protect it, the city paves the streets, plows the streets, there's no buffoonery in that neighborhood outside, no trash. That's a protected neighborhood with protected citizens.
I don't know, my neighborhood's pretty safe, and I don't live in.
yeah, I don't live in that neighborhood, and I see the police. Actually, I disagree with that. I think the police are more targeting areas where there's prone for activity than they are of the Frontier area. But those people take care. You don't see trash and everything because you see
We're going to make the city
people
very
outside.
safe. Let's keep a safe city.
I mean, we're trying. They're trying. I'm sure. I mean, if you compare our stats to other city stats, they are improving.
Is there a legal statute about the safety? Is safety a guaranteed city law?
I mean,
It's in our charter, but it's not, nothing is guaranteed in life.
yeah, right.
So there's no legal definition of safety here in the city of Erie? Yes or no?
Not that we know of. I mean, I've never heard of one of you.
But a definition of safety.
Yeah, I mean,
A legal definition under the city jurisdiction of safety.
I've seen
Is that
lawyers.
on the books?
I've seen lawyers fight over the word catastrophic and not agree on it.
yeah, right.
So who can agree on safety?
Yeah, I mean,
There's relative safety,
Safety could be
there's
a lot of
absolute
different
safety.
things. Yeah, right.
Guarantee safety of its citizens. That's my question.
No one can guarantee that.
Nobody.
You do the best you can.
I don't care what city, what part of the city you live in any city.
So how come Frontier is a protected class?
I wouldn't say it's protected. I just think wherever neighborhoods have a high percentage of people, like my neighborhood, there's a high percentage of people that own their homes.
Yeah.
They tend to guard it and to take care of their neighborhoods a little better.
Homeless people go out to Frontier, the cops are right there. Homeless people walk on the public street, the cops come and pick them up. Why is that?
Well, I don't know about that. They do it in my neighborhood, and I don't live in Frontier. But hey, thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling.
All right, thanks.
But yeah, the hard work is ahead of us now.
Yeah.
Downtown is easy. That's all the fluff and glamour.
Yeah, but we gotta do things the right way too, you guys aren't included in what's going on.
No, we aren't.
That's not good.
No, and people disagree with that comment, but we are not in on it.
No, you're not. Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I watch your show every week. That first caller, he calls every freaking week.
Yeah.
He complains and complains and complains, and you guys don't shut him off.
Well, we're starting to do it a little quicker. Bear with us. John's he's got a faster finger than I do.
If he doesn't like the city, tell him to move out.
Well, what he doesn't understand, he wants guarantees. There are no guarantees in life on anything, And the end game for the city is obviously get more people to move back in.
Yeah.
And if we can broaden the tax base, that means it's less stress on those that live here.
Right.
If you have a new car, what do? You get rid of it. If you don't like the city you live in, move out.
Yep. And a lot of people have done that, and that's our problem,
Well, that's all I have to say.
Hey, thanks for calling, and we'll try to limit the calls a
We'll
little
try
bit.
to keep it to the 5-minute limit.
Okay.
Thanks.
Ooh,
Smokes. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Mr.
Hey, he's back. What happened to you?
What happened to me? Where?
Boy, we haven't heard from you.
Well, the wife fell down and she's been going to rehab and
is she
everything
okay?
else. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, is she okay, though?
She's working on it.
It's like that Morton Salt girl, right?
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours. John don't remember that.
No.
Yeah,
He's looking
I sure
stunned.
do. Hey, I see we had another blow up on 38th Street.
What do you mean?
The water department.
Oh, yeah, I saw it the other night. What the heck happened?
Oh, another one of those mains broke. When they did their repaving and everything, they didn't have all the various departments come in and check things out.
Yeah, I went by and I said, oh, man, they had a deep hole there. I'll tell you, that was
Yeah, then now they're cutting up the road. They're going to cement it, and they're going to blacktop it again, and
yeah.
before long it'll be like it was before.
Yeah, it was. My wife and I, we were going by there one night. I said, oh, man, this ain't good.
And it's just going to keep on going, just like they're lining it up on 26th Street. They just patch and patch. They don't do the whole job at one time.
Well, they've had trouble with 38th Street, if you
By
remember.
Tim Hortons again?
Well, no, this one's further up. This was where, John,
This is right about
up by more where John lives.
Tops or by
Up in that, okay.
Overcare.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they've had trouble. Well, they had a lot of trouble with 38th.
Tim Hortons, I remember that.
Well, I guess what it goes back to is if you talk to the old timers, that road was narrow, and then when they widened it, over the years they probably didn't do the work in there they should have.
Uh-huh.
And like Tim Hortons, they had trouble with the what was it, the sewer hookup, right, John?
Yeah.
One was high and one was low, and
Well, the trouble is, all these engineers, you want to hate your kids, send them to be an engineer.
well, sometimes I wonder because like the people call me every week about the manholes are too low, the manholes are too high, the grades are all out of whack,
Well, when I worked in the steam department, we had rings to make up that difference for the drop in the manholes and whatever.
Well, the simple solution, John, is those who do the job have to guarantee it goes back the way it was.
I was over West 38th Street here the other day, and they're not as bad over there now. The rings have been brought up a little bit.
Where's that, West 38th?
From Liberty all the way over to, I want to say, almost Saratania Road.
Yep.
They did a decent job.
And if you make them do it,
Yeah, well, they've got the rings and all that, and they got the engineers looking it over.
I don't know why none of our guys should ever okay a job until it's done.
Till it meets the specs, right?
But they're afraid of the state. Everybody's afraid of the state.
Oh, just like, they're paving this road out here today. I didn't know it was on the list.
Which one?
Page, Hoyt, all the way from 38th Street all the way up. They're doing the whole thing. They're doing it now.
They gotta be last minute additions. I don't have my list on me.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You must have did something because they're doing it all, and but still they don't have a proper grade. They got 1942, 1946 grade.
They didn't get Marion done though, did they?
I don't know if they got that done. I know they're doing a pile of them.
I seen them do Page at the bottom,
They're all the way up here to 42nd Street. They're putting down the rough coat now.
I mean, they did a nice job on my street. The problem on those east side streets were, for years when they were tar and chip, they would start at your end, John, they'd never reach my end.
Well, they never had a good base either.
No, that was you know what? Those roads were an example of when the city was growing. This is why I always yell about this. When we were growing, they didn't care. They just, just slapped it down and, put houses up. Right, John?
That's right.
That's what Mill Creek did.
Well, now they have that last guy was moaning about them putting in concrete roads and all that. Now the specs, when a builder comes in, he has to put the roads in.
Well, that's the way it used to be always. In the old days, even in, there's a part of law that says what the builder, I'll tell you who did that. Palermo, I think, built, remember those ones?
Palermo, Redinger.
The ones off of, what street is that? McClown, right?
Yeah.
He built those roads, and then usually they'll dedicate them to the city or the municipality, and if the municipality accepts them, then they take over the maintenance of them. But the builder does the hard work and builds,
And puts in the pavement and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have our leaves guys ready to take care of Green Gardens, Frontier Park, Elliott Street, all them?
Probably they never take care of us, right?
Well, they take care of the protected people first.
Yeah, I'll agree with that guy on one thing.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I think that guy lives in La La Land.
Well, I had a public works guy tell me one time, a high up one, that they pay more, so therefore they don't have to bag their leaves.
Yeah, that's a bunch of baloney.
But they do it though, right?
Yeah, they take care of them. The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
So I said to that guy, I said, so therefore, if I pay more, let's say, than an area north of me, okay, I should get more services too then.
You do.
But I don't.
Get that email I sent over to you?
When today?
No, a while back.
Which one was it? I don't read my social mail, John.
Well, I think it was something, I forget what it was now.
Did you send it my city one or my personal?
No, it was on your Captain Cass.
Okay, I'll have to go check that.
And I sent it to Moz, and then I sent it to Pat. It's with the dealings with the city and the water and, putting in medication in the water. And
yeah. You agree that they're doing it?
Yeah, why?
You mean, you do agree they're putting medication in the water, right?
Sure they are.
Sure, I don't like it either. Now you read about
aluminum in the water, and it's just just above the parts per million allowed, and the DEP gets involved, and
this is why I'm against selling the water department, and they will never get my vote on that.
No, because they'll manipulate the cost like you wouldn't believe. I don't use city water. I have a filtered just osmosis machine.
But no one should have to do that. When I hear it's only for people that might be, might have a problem with it. Well, my wife is one of those. So maybe I shouldn't have to pay my water bill either then.
For new babies, that stuff will take away the growth of the teeth and everything else. You get dementia, you get all upset. And I want one more thing before I get off.
Okay, what's that?
Too bad FDR wasn't around, because he could throw out the first ball of the World Series like he did the last time Washington was in it.
Hey, but John, hey, John, before you say that, that's not the Washington we're talking about.
I know it was the Washingtons was senators back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, but there's two senators, remember? One team went to Minnesota,
No, I don't remember that.
and one team went to Texas.
Oh yeah.
So this is like the third reincarnation.
Well, we had two senators in here or in Pennsylvania that should be changed too.
Oh, wow, now we're getting into,
Yeah, right.
Hey,
Like the Yankees.
well, John didn't,
You know, he's like, what did he say? He didn't just say the Yankees.
but it won't be no number 28 in their record, right?
Now that's interesting right there, I tell you. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I have a problem. I need you to stop by sometime.
Okay,
Kaz will
you
solve
got
it.
some, if you got some Zabruvka or some Zivich, I'll be right by.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, I have some.
Asking you,
You don't-
shall receive.
This is the mayor,
Yeah, I know.
You know what this is,
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah, he probably does too. He's probably got a bunch of it laying around.
Yeah, you want me to stop around, give you a call?
Yeah. And I have hey, what's going on 15th State too, that traffic light there?
Hey, what time are you home? So first of all, if I come.
I'm home all day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what about traffic light?
Yeah, what happened at 15th State, the traffic light there?
Fifth and State. Did they take it out?
No,
Don't work anymore.
on Fifth and State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
Gee, I haven't been by there.
Yeah, you know where McDonald's is?
Yeah.
And that other store? DeLucas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that traffic light.
I have to check on it. Maybe, we do so many studies on which ones we're gonna shut down and stuff. That one might have slipped through, but the traffic engineer periodically, looks at lights that aren't needed. But I'll check that one out for you, okay, Lloyd?
Yeah, you have my number there, right?
You don't want to give it to me over the line, so
No.
you got my phone number?
No.
You don't want it.
I'll tell you what,
Call him out. Oh, you can't. Yeah, call the clerk's office. Are you sure in the phone book?
yeah, I'm in the phone book, Lloyd.
Okay, I'm not in the phone book anymore.
Okay,
Yeah, Kaz is. He's been in the phone book since it started. So just look him up.
yeah,
What's it under? Kwitowski
let
or
me see if I got it. I might have him in here. Hang on a second. Talk to Lloyd a minute.
with your phone number?
Yeah, no, Lloyd's.
Oh, Lloyd's okay. Yeah, I love
Well, I
Lloyd.
shouldn't give his name over there.
He don't care. Lloyd's been calling here since before you
Well,
and I were on the show.
he's the mayor of the east side.
He is. Gonna come, that good festival, he is big man on
If you're
campus.
good to him, you get seats on the,
That's right. You get that's like sitting on the art museum
But on the
steps.
3rd, too.
yeah, I don't have it, so,
What about your screen there on the,
Yeah, you can't call that number. What's the clerk's number?
let me get that one here. Let's see. Call this one, Lloyd, okay?
okay.
And just tell him. Let's see, I gotta get, oh, this is not going good. There we go. Try 870-1293.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, I'll give you another one here. Cause I don't know who's in the office right now. Either that or 870-1291. That'd be a better one.
Okay, 870-1291.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
and just leave your number with the,
I don't think anybody's in the clerk's office. There wasn't.
there's one in there.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call that number.
Okay,
All right.
Lloyd.
Thanks, Lloyd. Have a good one, buddy.
It's always a pleasure going to Lloyd's house.
I know. Heck yeah.
He's got the best seats in the house.
He's
It's
got.
marvelous.
It's like the art museum for Erie Days. I swear to God, it's got the best. Couldn't draw those seats up any better.
No.
I remember I was doing the polka at the Zabob when I was waving to him. That's how close he was. He could see. You ever do the polka?
one time when I was young.
You know, it's not easy.
No, but there's a lot of people, it's like a mixed crowd, whether
When
they
you
like
can-
it or not.
When you can, you're dancing around in circles, and you're like, you can get dizzy. But you know, as good as when
If I had some of the holy water,
your buddy that sits right there, he's really good.
if I had some of the holy water,
You got to have some of the holy water first,
yeah, that
and
might
then you get out there and do the polka. Winarski's good. He's nonstop.
he's a legend in his own mind.
He's a legend
He'll get mad at me now, watch.
He's a Zababa legend, but he's good. He's dancing around in circles, and I got out there and did it twice, and I was like, I'm dizzy.
You ain't seen nothing though till you went out on those, when I was with the radio show,
Uh-huh.
the polka
Oh, the polka.
show with Major Mel and
Uh-huh.
Kenny and all them.
Yeah.
We used to go out of town a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'd hook up with the bands. And so we get they give us CDs and to play on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing till you've been in those shows.
Yeah. I don't mean to change the subject,
Yeah,
but see this lady right here in the wheelchair? She has muscular dystrophy?
yeah,
She is a dream.
She's volunteering over
She
there.
volunteers.
yeah.
And works at the front desk here, so people, when they come in, she is literally in a wheelchair, or MS or something. But that woman comes here every Monday to volunteer at that desk.
And that's
Love that.
good though.
That's awesome. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, I'm just piggybacking in a little bit on what John had talked about the fluoride and the aluminum in the water.
Yeah.
I noticed, and I'm a Penn State Master Gardener trained person, so I know plants and how to grow them. But I've noticed that over the last 3 to 4 weeks, my house plants are dying. I'm losing leaves. The leaves are turning brown, and it's probably due because I poisoned my poor little plants, giving them city water. Also, I talked last week about the Chinatown that the mayor's talking about doing. Mm-hmm. When making agreements with the Chinese government that they're probably doing in order to facilitate this agreement where their people would come here, we'd all do well to consider the level of surveillance that's used on the Chinese people, which is extraordinarily huge. If their people are here in Erie in their Chinatown, the Chinese government's probably going to want the same kind of tech in those Chinese-style buildings to safeguard, quote-unquote, probably, their people. They'd probably also want it around town since their people would be going to our hospitals and universities. And since some of those people are working to transform Erie into a smart city, it might be a welcome idea for the Chinese to help equip Erie with the same standard of tech as in China, which is through the roof. After all, that's what being a smart city means, the ultimate 1984, such as George Orwell never dreamed. Because smart means sensor, monitoring, and reporting technologies. And to all the people making these decisions and trying to push this through and make it happen, they need to remember that whatever kind of world they build for the rest of us to live in, they won't be above it. It's like Thomas Paine said, it doesn't matter who you are, eventually it'll come for you too. And so that's my thought for the day, guys.
Well, I agree with you. I think, I was talking with somebody the other day about how much the world has changed just since 9/11. How many of our freedoms are, and some people don't see it. We just gave it away, We don't even have due process anymore.
Well, the Patriot Act was a very big infringement on our personal rights.
Well, you have no due process. In the old days, they had to make a case against you. Yeah. Now they throw you in a tribunal and you're done.
Yeah, but then again, our own newspaper does that to people. Even if you're if somebody filed, let's say if the wife was to put a PFA against you,
yeah,
and she was disgruntled or something, and it really wasn't true, they're posting your picture on the front page of the paper.
I can tell you, when I was on the school board, it was entirely different. And before anything could go out. You had to have your, you know, because I can't tell you how many
See,
teachers,
here's what they do.
you know how many teachers would have lost their job based on innuendo?
Yeah, here's what they do, Cass.
Yeah.
Let's say if the wife put a PFA on you.
You still there, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm listening to you guys.
Okay, well, we'll hang up in case somebody wants to call, okay?
Yeah, you know, just look at the big picture. Did you guys ever read the book I gave you?
I'm reading it.
Are you really? Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You mean George Orwell?
George Orwell's 1984.
Yep.
It's an eye-opener.
I never believed in it till, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hey, thanks for calling, though,
Thanks for
okay?
calling. You know.
Go ahead, John.
They will, if she was put a PFA against you, your picture would be on the front page.
Yeah.
But then when they find out it's not true, or
You go on page 8,
you're on page 8.
maybe.
Yeah, you're below the, you know, the comic strip.
You're back under,
Yeah, you're back under the, well, we don't really care.
you're under the used cars or something.
Yeah, not, or the, you know, what's for sale.
But that's
Yeah,
why I will say, when I was on the school board and charges were filed against teachers,
Yeah,
nothing went out until
yeah.
it was investigated, because there's too much at,
Yeah, I saw that like on social media, Scooter's Tavern. That's where the Lower East Side Federation and their group hangs out there. And you know, living on the east side, you know, there's, you know, sometimes the police are called to that area,
Right.
where people that aren't even there or have left there are causing trouble. So now the media is going out trying to neighbors, trying to dig up things on them. And you know, with Mary and Donnie, I know them. They've done hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of community work for all kinds of different charities and all kinds of different things.
well,
going on.
it's why, John, I personally don't get involved in social media anymore.
Yeah.
I did for a while, and it come back to haunt me, because,
Yeah,
I mean, all of a sudden, people say things on there that there's no relevance.
yeah. You know, I read.
And so I'm not gonna get more ammo.
I do read social media, and I just see what people say. So there are some people that just hate everything and everybody. Those are the cave citizens.
But then if they say it, unlike the newspaper,
Yeah.
the newspaper, look, they've said a lot of things about me over the years,
Yeah.
but, you know,
the news,
I know where to go to have it corrected.
the
you know?
newspaper, here's what they do. Here's how they sell papers. They build you up, and then they can't wait for you to screw up
Yeah.
or something, and then they tear you down.
Well, with me, they never built me up, so.
No, you went straight to tear down.
But that's okay, but see, here, the thing is, though, that they're very careful about what they print about you, okay?
Oh, really?
Well, normally, okay?
Yeah.
But with social media, you got people that are just, they hear it. You know, I heard my buddy say, well, I saw him, what, did you see him at the, you know?
Yeah, right.
And then pretty soon it gets out of hand, so, you know.
What you get on social media, Kaz, you get your cave citizens. What are cave citizens? You know what
Yeah.
they're. Citizens against virtually everything. They hate everything. Like, so that guy that calls here, he hates everything. You know, it's like, how much, and here's, the most of them, they're uninformed. They don't really know what they're really even talking about. And then they put their opinions out there, and then other people are like, yeah, he's right. But they don't even know what they're talking about. So it's kind of like, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But when you get your citizens against virtually everything, all complaining at the
Yeah.
same time, it's not good. It's not good. But hey, you know, what are you going to do?
But yeah, with these cameras, a woman has a point that, you know, we have a society now where, you know, all of a sudden you read that,
Yeah, 9/11
the
changed
government
a lot.
experimented with facial recognition,
Yeah.
but don't worry, because they didn't keep it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You want me to believe that one, right?
Yeah. So how was the caucus meeting when Persinger came in to talk to you guys? How'd that go?
Council asked him to come because, and he showed up quick, but that's something that should have been done weeks ago.
It should have been done a year ago.
Yes. I mean, everybody had a breakdown. I mean, what I mean by breakdown was everybody, the media, various people in the community, various leaders.
Was it crowded in there?
No, because it was at the end of the meeting.
Oh, it was after the meeting?
Yeah. In fact, some members didn't even want him to speak at the end of the meeting because,
They had to leave.
well, it was quick, you know, and
What,
so basically he gave us
was
the
the
PowerPoint.
was the media in there?
I don't think so.
Oh,
So he gave well, it's an extension, we had a finance meeting, so it's an extension. When we do that, we advertise it as finance and any other matters that may
Yeah.
come before them.
should not have happened before the meeting though?
What, that?
Yeah, so the.
Well, sure, but here's the
So
problem.
the media,
Here's what happens when,
people could have.
when they put the agenda together
Uh-huh.
and it gets put on there quick and you don't have,
Ample time.
ample time to digest it, okay? So that's why I voted, look, I was for the plan, but I wanted to hear.
I think all you guys are for the plan, but it's how you go about
Yeah.
implementing the plan.
People in this town, and I'll say it, and
And
maybe
what do you do with the people that you displaced because of this?
I'm gonna get a call from the fifth floor, and that's okay, ready?
What else is new?
But in our form of government, there are various offices with various functions. We are no different than the federal government.
Yeah,
We, the people elect a mayor to administer the laws and the things which are passed by council, much like at the county.
yeah,
And the problem is that when everybody, the Persingers and all that just go to the mayor and, or they go to the county exec and they assume that relieves them their responsibility,
right,
they're assuming, and you know what happens when you assume,
right.
that the information is being disseminated downward. When it's not, the very people that gotta vote on things sit there in the dark.
We'll see.
And that's what happened. So he came here, he gave his little spiel. He didn't mention, not that that was important to council, because that's a private sale, but it would have been nice to know that McDonald's
Yeah.
was being looked at, not that a deal was, we don't have to know that.
You don't, I mean, very rarely are you informed of a real estate transaction. You don't want people knowing about that for various
Right, but
monetary
you could
reasons.
say that we have our eyes on many things, you know.
The one, you know, the guy, we all know who's behind it, you know, what organization, what group. That's great. You know, the guy has positive intentions to help
Yeah,
use what he has to move the city forward. That's great. But what I think the EDDC is lacking in is the notion that they need to explain about what they're changing, what they're gonna do to the people that are being displaced.
because we're gonna have to, at the end of the day, John, you
Yeah.
can have the county exec, the mayor, everybody on board, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be 4 people out of 7
Yeah.
that agree to do these things, whether it takes rezoning or whatever we're up to.
That's a very good topic. That's what I was.
And yet, who's out of the dark?
That was my very next statement. You can granted, they purchased McDonald's. I saw what they want to do with the future. You've heard me on this show 1,000 times. We need people with disposable income downtown. Okay, but what is the plan with what you're gonna do with the people that we're displacing? And just to bring up the McDonald's area separately, what's the zoning on that? Cause they're
Yeah.
talking about a multi-use, off, which is the wave of the future, but
I'm guessing.
I'm not even sure the multi-use facility idea is good for the future. We could talk about that soon. We've talked about it about 6 months.
Well, you know, these are the things that, you know, things are constantly evolving, but, you know, I don't know what the reason is that I was part of some one time that, there were very sensitive issues.
Yeah,
And there were things being done, and, you know, council was held to a different level than the average person. You know, if we're given something in confidence,
the guys in the
and it goes back to the old racetrack, remember?
yeah,
If you're told something in confidence,
yeah, like when
you
they
cannot,
bought the property.
yeah, you cannot benefit from it, nor can you go out and talk about it
Right.
until it's public record.
Well, that's why you shouldn't, that's why you're not involved with the original discussions between the EDDC and McDonald's.
Yeah,
But there has to be a happy medium, but they should have been nice to you guys, cause there might be a zoning situation.
yeah, and you'll want
With the McDonald's in resident, is it zoned commercial or is it zoned?
I'm guessing, but I'm looking,
It has to be commercial.
that's what I'm guessing, but I haven't
So,
looked at it.
But is it
specifically.
residential as well? And that's where they're gonna need you guys. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, hey, you know, Kaz, when you talk about letting City Hall know about all these
that are going on. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going to have a city councilman, I think, in January, who's a real estate agent. You've got a real estate agent on the zoning hearing board. Now, there could be proprietary things going on that could just stop the EDDC from, you know, buying things at a fair value. I think I heard Persinger say they looked at the modern tool building, which is worth about $10 million. Mm-hmm. Guess how much they wanted for it? 25, because Persinger wanted it.
Yeah.
And honestly, you want to stop growth? Let people that don't know nothing about real estate development make decisions about real estate development. It's crazy. It really is crazy. I'm not saying you got to just turn your back on everything they're doing, but God Almighty, get out of their way. And I agree with John Steiner. We need jobs.
But
jobs.
So you don't think I should question him though, or?
Well, you know, Cass, I think
the problem is that
I think they can't be, you know, they're when you're buying stuff like that, you know, it's kind of.
Yeah, but here's the problem, Rich. Okay, they're telling one party but not the other.
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
I mean, somebody knows that's in charge, yet the people that got to make the decision don't know.
Well, they're afraid of what we were talking, the cave citizens, everybody that's the citizens.
But you know, Tom Hagen came here about 2 years and a half ago.
Uh-huh.
And he presented council with his plan.
Yeah.
Didn't tell exactly what it was, but, you know, there was a broad overview of what was going down, okay?
Yes. You know, I spent a lot of time on 7th and Chestnut when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Where my grandmother lived. You know, so I went to the Watson Curtsey mansion. It was to get me out of her hair, probably, to go there.
Yeah.
And so I've always paid attention to that neighborhood. I spent a lot of time down there. When you ride over West 6th Street by the Watson Curtsey mansion, you see those beautiful mansions getting restored. You know, remember one thing. It's probably going to, and I'm just using numbers, it's probably costing Hagen $1 million to fix them up.
Yeah.
It'll be worth $500,000 when he's done, if he tried to sell them. But it's going to cost him probably $1 million to fix them up.
No, nobody's against that, okay? What we're saying is that, you know, you're free to buy land on all that, okay?
Yeah.
But when the plans are set, okay, you got to come before the government body.
Yeah.
If you're going to need their help. In other words,
yeah.
If you look at what they did, they already bought North Park Road.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That was already bought.
Yeah.
So why would the county exec and I assume the mayor both had advanced knowledge of things we didn't have, and then all of a sudden, you know, people accuse us of being a rubber stamp, and guess what? That's exactly what you are.
Yeah.
When something's thrown on you 24 hours before the vote, and all you do is you go along because everybody says it's a good idea.
You know, Kaz, I can only point at a couple things.
Yeah.
The or the casino, when that information was floating around City Hall, look what happened. You know, I mean, it cost a mayor's job, even though maybe he wasn't doing anything.
Well, there were things going on that shouldn't happen, okay?
And then the other one, that pre-release center that's down on the campus of Gannon.
Yeah.
That was another, you know what I'm talking about.
But here's the problem. The people elect, we have a republic government, Rich, okay?
I know that, yeah.
Okay, so that means the people elect us
Yeah.
to be their voice, okay?
Right, yeah.
And if we don't know what's going on,
Yeah.
who's running the show?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to buy land. It's okay, all right?
Yeah.
But, you know, you can keep all that secret up until the time. And, you know, but when it comes time to rezoning issues,
Yeah.
okay, that's where the government has to be careful, because you don't know what you're doing
Yeah.
to a neighborhood, okay?
All right, let me play devil's advocate for a second. Let's say that I know nothing about government. I'm not involved. I'm not on your show.
Right.
I'm just a business person. What has government done to deserve an opportunity to even be involved with what I'm trying to. These people, they're putting their money where their mouth is, and they're going to rely on government.
So why come to us for a rezoning?
Who's allowed our city to decay for 100 years and hasn't really? What have we done?
John, you can't keep blaming the past is the past, okay? You're sounding like.
Guys, if these guys didn't come in and do this, what would we get?
That's fine, they're doing it, John, okay?
Nothing.
John,
I'm playing devil's advocate.
John, it's fine they're doing it, okay?
Yeah.
But there comes a point when they need the help of the very people.
Right, which we discussed earlier.
So I'm saying you couldn't have told us the same. Here's what gets me. There was no trade secrets given away that night.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that report given to council 6 months before? Okay, the county exec knew. I'm assuming the mayor knew. Various forms of the media knew. It's not up to council to read the newspaper or to.
I don't think they know as much as you think they know.
Who?
The mayor and county executive.
Well, they knew a lot more than we did. I mean, the paper was reporting all these things, like now, okay? They just reported about the 5-story building, okay? That's news to me, okay? You would think that, after that meeting, we said to him, we would like to have a little bit more linkage.
Right.
So a little call to the president of council saying, hey, we're gonna be announcing on the news today,
Right.
okay, a 5-story building.
So, you've always said yourself,
So why does the media get before we do? Are they any more honest than we are?
you've said that the purpose of government is to create an atmosphere for businesses to succeed.
Yes, but that means that doesn't mean that we just automatically, bend over and let anybody do what they want to do.
I think you have to become, when the city's in as bad a disrepair as the city is, you have to become an enabler instead of a questioner.
Well, John, but wait a minute.
And you've got banks,
Yeah,
universities, a Fortune 500 company involved, and you've got 7 people who are car mechanics.
did you see what happened in the past? How old are you?
But let them business people be business.
Wait a minute, how old are you?
He's a little older than me.
72.
Okay, you're my age. You remember the last time we allowed people to just run carte blanche through the city?
I can't. I'm not sure where you're headed, but
I'm heading where, I'm telling you, they tore down the whole city. They gutted it. Go ahead, don't worry. Let them do what they want to do. Guess what?
all that stuff.
The money dried up when Vietnam came, remember?
Oh yeah.
And what did we have? We had empty lots for 20 years in this town.
Yeah.
We gutted the entire business district, and those were people of character. Those were people that knew better than we did.
At least they're gutting it, but at least they're putting new things
They
up.
put nothing in for 20 years.
No, I'm talking this group.
Well, for now, but
Yeah.
we still have to be vigilant. The things we do, okay,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen if they're not as unscrupulous as you? Everybody thinks they're perfect, right? There's an
I
end
don't think
game. There's an end game for everybody,
No,
okay?
nobody thinks anybody's
Hey,
perfect.
there's an end game for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, Gannon has a plan, so does everybody.
Yeah, right.
And that's okay, as long as it fits into the general good, okay?
But Schember has a plan. I mean, but Schember doesn't have $50 million to spend.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Tom Hagen came here and we didn't question him much. We gave him what he wanted. We gave the guy from VNet what he wanted, but we had a little presentation before, so you know what's going on.
Yeah.
You can't be perfect, but
Gave Casey Wells height variances for his hotels. I mean, you closed 9th Street for Casey Wells. You do all kinds of stuff, Cass.
well, yeah, but that's for if we stopped.
You have to do some of this stuff.
Yeah, but that okay, but you can't get around the fact that when they just put something on the agenda
Yeah,
and we have no idea what they're up to, I'm not voting for any of that.
that's all I can say. Suck it up. You're all adults. You didn't find out, but you probably heard little glimmers of it. But you weren't formally presented, and you were caught off guard. Well, okay.
Yeah, but
I get it,
but that's not the first time, okay?
hating with you guys that good, anyways. And I hate to, I don't want to knock them, but it seems like there's a gap there, and I don't know if you can't get the information from the 5th floor down to Mario Bagnoni chambers. and then you want Persinger to be this open book for you guys.
Well, he was surprised, and this is what we're hearing.
I don't know.
He was surprised because he didn't know that we weren't informed.
I'm a cheerleader. I want the city to survive.
And so do I,
want
but
downtown to get better.
And so do I, but I got to be very vigilant about. There's no carte blanche in the world, okay?
I know. I know.
Once we do these things, it's gone. It's out of our control.
Right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All I'm saying is,
I think they could have, like, now I'm going back to how I was being the devil's advocate. They should have went about it a little bit different.
well, he didn't know that we weren't informed.
You guys should have been informed of what was going on. But here's the thing. Sometimes city councils viewed as obstructionists in the community. I hate to say it.
Yeah, but so, you know what? We've heard that from everybody, right?
Yeah.
Then the citizens think that business has taken over the downtown, right?
And the less
What was the most thing that they were upset about? Was the fact that a couple of restaurants got kicked out. Okay?
all those over there.
Well, that's their viewpoint, okay?
Yeah.
Now you look at the viewpoint of Persinger and his group, it was a necessary evil,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's a private sale. But when you come to the city and if you're gonna have that attitude that we're bad guys, then don't come for a rezoning.
They're coming.
Just go ahead and do it, and then,
That's the first thing.
let's disband government, okay?
When I saw the article, when they said they were tearing it down and they were making it into a multi-use facility, I was like, oh, really? I mean, what is that zone? Then I'm thinking, they should have came to city council earlier, because if it's not zoned residential, they're gonna be wanting favors.
Well, they're gonna have to, but in the past, John, here's what we got. Anytime we had a rezoning, we've had people come here, present us with a plan
Yes.
before it was put on the agenda, so we could question it.
Don't use ultimately decide on a rezoning, right?
If it's a change, yes.
Right.
And so we've even had public hearings where, like, there was one that was gonna be built on the west side, never got built yet. Through the public hearing, we vetted it, we saw what they were up to, we put some stipulations in there that
Yeah.
they had to pay some taxes on it, was gonna be entirely tax exempt,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
That's our due diligence.
See, I mean, I wonder what its zone rate. It's at least commercial.
And you know what, we'll probably give it to them, but, some people wanna know what are you putting in there, Here's a prime example. People get upset when we change rezoning because it opens up the possibility of a lot of different things. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
Once you open up Pandora's box and you say, well, I'm rezoning this piece of property,
Then-
if that business goes out, okay,
Yeah.
another business that meets that criteria can come in.
Right.
And it may be not something you want in your neighborhood.
A lot of people, the whole mixed use facility, it's concerning me, because as far as retail
Yeah.
aspects go, all the malls and all the big stores in the mall, they're all changing their format to bouncy houses, and
Yeah.
they're all these big box stores, they're all closing because of Amazon, and shopping online is really
Well, what if they
big.
put I'm just saying, I'm not saying they're gonna do it, but I would imagine what they're looking at there is probably like a coffee shop, maybe even a McDonald's.
No. They had something in the newspaper, McDonald's.
No, but I mean, when I've been to other towns,
Oh,
when you have a mixed-use facility,
oh, yeah.
what they usually put on the bottom floor is, they'll put, whatever meets the criteria. It could be not a bar, but what do you call it, a sports bar.
Yeah.
Some low classier, a
I
restaurant.
was stunned that they weren't putting parking a lot in there.
And probably the second floor, they'll probably put like,
I don't know where anybody.
professional offices, like accountants, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is what they should, and then third floor up, residential.
Right,
That is a mixed use facility.
yeah. And
Where
it's worked
people are
out of
gonna
town.
park? Where's everybody gonna park at?
Well, that's the problem. And
And they're taking the parking lot
but I
out,
still think they're gonna build it in the back.
where the parking lot is in the back. That's probably.
They did say in there they gotta address parking.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, if you're gonna ask somebody to rent an apartment at market rate, every
Better.
town I ever been in, every town,
Yeah,
you gotta provide some kind of secured parking.
Right, well, they have the secured parking at the Richford, which that will be next.
Where?
Over Richford Arms, that's where Erie.
Where's the
Insurance-
secured parking?
For Erie Insurance, they own it, and it's behind there, or on the side.
Yeah, but that's not gonna be enough for the tenants.
No, I'm just saying, there is secured.
But then what do you get, you know, what they gotta
Whereas-
come up,
Richford Arms is next. I
Yeah.
think that's the crown
yeah,
jewel,
and if it is, they still gotta come up with,
parking.
yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't buy an apartment where I had to walk a block and a half to my
I
apartment.
mean, I was in Chicago and they had one where they had like 20 stories of parking before the tower began above it. You follow me?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's the one where they shot the car off during the movie with Steve McQueen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's, I mean, that's, something's, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do it.
No, you got to, because every town I ever been in, if you have residential,
You have to
living.
have parking somehow. I mean, I don't know
I
how
mean,
they're
if you
gonna-
go to Level Place, they got it across the street,
Correct,
okay?
that right. So I don't know where, I mean, they have to put a lot, because the courthouse needs parking.
But they need a ramp, really.
They need a ramp behind McDonald's in that area right there, especially if they're gonna use they're gonna put the
And
mixed use
the
facility.
big question will be, will it be public owned or privately owned?
What's the matter? City isn't it there? Those days are getting.
No, I mean, the parking authority can build it, or they can build it themselves. That's their decision.
It'll probably be, but at least here's the one good thing about it all: they're paying taxes and more tax revenue. They were saying that they pay $20,000 a year
See,
now.
I'm not against mixed-use building.
$400,000 they're talking in taxes.
Mixed-use building is exactly what they're doing with, Tippy's old buildings.
Yeah, I like mixed
Okay?
use too, but we
You
gotta
know
be
why they
careful.
can't do, you know why they can't do it upstairs though? Cause they got no elevators.
Yeah, and that's, you have to have them.
Today you have to.
That's ADA. That's why half the
You don't think
downtown is the
Tippy,
way
you
it
don't
is.
think Tippy had plans of
Oh,
doing it?
sure, but you have to, that's why 90% of the downtown isn't revitalized. Well,
Well, because a lot of the old buildings,
14th and State,
to be realistic, they're 3 stories high, right?
yeah,
And the cost of doing that,
yeah,
for the return that you would get out of it,
Yeah.
we're not talking Manhattan,
right,
you know, where people gotta come down to Manhattan.
right,
So, I mean, that's the problem. You're talking about Erie where they have options. Are you gonna put an elevator into a 2-story building?
right.
Yeah,
No,
that's the problem.
that's not cost effective, but you have to have elevators now.
But now, what they're doing is they're linking these buildings. So
Yeah.
I imagine what they're gonna do is one elevator per, you know, they'll be linked.
You know, let me change the subject real quick. You know, we're doing the, looking through the old shows, do some tributes and stuff. You realize that over 20 years ago, they were talking about the exact same things
Sure.
they're talking about today.
I mean, about Lerda and all that.
Lerda, yeah, and sidewalk cuts.
I tried to tell Rich on here,
Over 20 years ago.
when I was in high school, they came up with a massive redevelopment plan.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you. I got the stuff. I still
What's
kept
it, what was it called? I can't remember. Not,
I don't think it had a name.
no, just a nameless plan.
Well, there's drawings all around town.
Uh-huh.
They were on the phone book had it on there.
Yeah,
It showed Erie what it was gonna look like with the high rises.
yeah.
And there was a master plan. I'll give you a
See,
copy.
it'll be nice,
And you guess what happened?
what happened?
Well, go ahead, you talk first.
It'll be nice when we have all the stuff downtown, but we need jobs. And then if they have easier access to the waterfront, that'll be good too, once PennDOT does their thing. I mean, there's a lot of major reconstruction going on downtown, but guess what? We gotta have people,
But here's what happened during redevelopment, okay?
yeah,
If you look around town, they systematically had all this money and they formed redevelopment authority. They bought properties, tore them down.
but you have to have jobs
They had court
to afford
fights.
these places.
They had well, what they didn't plan on was, Gus Blockus was one of the first victims of that. And he held up that whole hotel for years. There was an empty lot there for much of my college career.
Yeah.
When I worked for the parking ramp,
Right,
they tore down all these buildings, but there was no money to rebuild because all of a sudden Vietnam started and the money from the government dried up.
how about the hotel on 18th and Peach being bought? Go ahead, caller.
Hello, how many years, Lerda, is that? Will that 5-story building at 5th and State be eligible for?
Well, assuming they build it, assuming number one, that there is a LERTA
They're
program.
saying they should start building it in 2021 is what the
But
article.
remember, we have a sunshine clause in LERTA.
Oh,
they gets reevaluated like in 5 years.
Yeah.
So if it still exists and they take advantage of it, they're eligible for 10 years.
Oh,
Not on the land, only on the building.
oh. So it has to be completed within,
No, you have to take a building permit. Like right now, any building after we pass LRTA that applies for it, like that doesn't include the Erie Insurance headquarters. That was built before. But any building that takes out a building permit, and you know, they're eligible for a 10-year LRTA.
oh, as soon as they take out the building permit,
Right,
you can qualify for the LRTA.
yep.
And before the,
And of course, then I think the clock starts ticking when the building is finished and they apply when it gets assessed, I believe. I'd have to look into that exactly, because like they have to assess the building once it's finished.
oh, so they have to apply for
Yeah,
the
you have to
LRTA.
apply for the LRTA, right, when you do the building permit.
Oh, it most likely would.
Well, this is what we're hoping will happen. I mean, the bad part is, yeah, you're not gonna get taxes for 10 years, but would these things have happened without LRTA? That's the big question. And you'll get disagreements on that, right, John?
Yep.
So I mean, the whole thing is you wanna see more of this, and hopefully, you know, if you can gut it out for 10 years, and you get some people moving back in the city to counteract a little loss of revenue, in 10 years, these things go back on the books then.
I remember watching this old show. We might show some tidbits of it. I mean, we'll probably be off the air on the replays, but they were fighting about 2 and 5 year LRTAs. Mario hated the idea, but Randy Brewer he sounded like a lot of your talking points, Kaz. Your same approach and his same talking points.
Well, look at Erie Insurance. They took advantage of different programs, but they're paying taxes
and
now.
they're paying taxes now. So, thanks for calling, caller.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people are gonna it's a gamble. It really is.
Right.
And nobody knows what the future will bring, but the past was pretty guaranteed that
It was just
doing nothing, we got nothing.
maybe we'll show some tidbits of it, but
Maybe we should.
There's some old there was a show with Randy and Mario and Mel many years ago.
But my point was, when they tore downtown apart,
Yeah.
and today, if I took you for a walk, John,
Yeah.
I could show you the stuff that's still there, that's a result of that, you know, and what are we talking? We're talking, let's see, 70s, 60s, we're talking 50 years ago, John. We're still got the seeds of what happened. Empty lots,
Right.
you know, so I mean, we gotta
That's
be
because
careful.
city council was involved in it.
Well, everybody thought it was great. What they did was they all drank the Kool-Aid, John.
Yeah.
They looked at the city, it was a lot of older buildings. They tore down a lot of theaters. Warner almost went.
Right.
The Shays went,
Right.
the Colonial went, a lot of department stores went.
Right.
The old Lawrence Hotel went, that's where the Avalon is, well, not the
Yeah.
Avalon, but whatever it is today.
Right.
And you looked at all that, John,
Yeah.
and what happened was the money wasn't guaranteed.
Right.
Now, the difference this time is we got people that are putting their own money in, okay? But we still have to be careful. We have to make sure that what we do,
You guys have to have a say in some of the things that are going on. Ultimately, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. But city council should be apprised of what's going on, because ultimately you guys have to answer to the taxpayers, not them.
you know, people would ask the same questions way back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had the empty lots we did for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Because you know what? That coincided with what happened then. The mall took over,
Yeah.
and what do we have? Nothing left.
Yeah. No retail downtown. But, maybe but like I said earlier, retail,
And it may not come back, and that's okay, all right?
Yeah.
But there may be, you know,
retail is leaving the retail area.
I mean, you can't.
Why would retail leave if retail can't survive in the retail area?
Well, that's because, you know, you look at,
Online,
what, you look at inline sales?
Amazon.
Yeah.
If retail can't survive in the retail areas, how the hell are they going to survive downtown? We're in the poorest zip code in the state.
Which is why what you're gonna see downtown are the coffee shops and,
Yeah,
you know.
we need jobs, period. Or else Nothing else works. With
You're
that
right.
being said, Kaz, we got to get out of
See
here.
you next week?
I don't know. We'll see. Probably.
What's the matter?
Got to get my truck running.
Okay, but I'll pick you up.
All right, if you have to, I'll let you know. Thanks, everybody.
And remember, DJ, if you're around, call us.
Yep. Later.
Oh, I gotta go upstairs too.
You have been watching Taxpayers Hotline, recorded live from the fabulous city of Erie, Pennsylvania.